We're back into politics this week. We'll begin with a race for governor in Iowa. As you may recall, Governor Kim Reynolds is not running for re-election. Multiple Republicans and Democrats are now in the race. The primary in Iowa is not until June, so we're still about 5 months away. But already on this show, you have heard from Democratic candidates Rob Sand and Julie Pouch, and Republicans Eddie Andrews and Brad Sherman. This week, Shelby Kluver sat down with Congressman Randy Feenstra, who's looking to secure the Republican nomination.
Congressman Feenstra, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. I want to start off with election year. I mean, it's finally here. As you look ahead to November, what's your vision for Iowa, and what are some of your legislative policies?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's so exciting to be in 2026. We're going to have a great economic year for Iowa, and I want to take Iowa to new heights. I've been traveling the state. It was so great to be in Anamosa, Burlington, Davenport earlier this week. And I was telling everyone my vision, and the vision is 4 points. Number one, I want to make sure that we are the most business and ag-friendly state in the country. That means we have to lower property taxes and freeze them. Number two is we got to get back to world-class education. Number three, we got to make sure our kids stay right here in Iowa. When they graduate from high school, they have a skill and a job waiting for them. And then finally, we have to make sure we have affordable, accessible, quality health care. We're working at it at the federal level, and we've got to make sure that it happens at the state level, lowering premiums for everyone.
I want to get to property taxes specifically in just a second. But first of all, I'm curious, how does your vision for Iowa differ from the path that Governor Kim Reynolds has had us on for nearly a decade?
Again, it's taking Iowa to new heights, that we have to make sure that we have affordability. We just saw in the last several days that gas prices are at an all-time low or 5-year low. We're seeing with a big, beautiful bill that I helped pass and write that people are going to see an extra $1,000 in their refunds. People making $64,000 with 4 children won't even have to pay taxes. I mean, this is phenomenal. Growing manufacturing, growing agriculture. It's the vision of making sure that we are the most business and ag-friendly state in the nation.
Well, let's zoom in on property taxes. Of course, that's one of Governor Kim Reynolds' top priorities this year after a bill did not pass in 2025. So what are your plans, if you become governor, for what you'd like to see for Iowa's property taxes?
Yeah, so I was a city administrator and I was also a county treasurer. I know how important property taxes are to our cities, our counties, and our schools. That's who gets property taxes. But we also have to understand that they're going up at an alarming rate, where we're hearing from seniors all across the state that say, hey, we can't live in our house anymore because we can't afford the property taxes. I'm hearing from small businesses that say we can't stay open because of property taxes. So we've got to find a way to lower property taxes and freeze them, and then also grow our economy so we can still have vibrant schools, great communities, and great counties.
Well, then, do you see any opportunity for common ground with Iowa Democrats when it comes to property taxes? They have proposed a 4% cap on property taxes each year, a freeze on taxes for Iowans 65 and older, and a $1,000 rebate to homeowners and a $500 rebate to renters. Does any of that sound like something you'd be willing to work with on them?
I tell you what, for me, it's about taking Iowa to new heights. And to do that is we got to lower and freeze property taxes. I'm willing to work with everyone to make this happen. Again, we have to grow our economy. We have to make sure our kids stay right here in Iowa. We have to have world-class education. This all works with growing our economy and growing our jobs, making things more affordable in our great state.
Well, one more question on property taxes. That 4% cap that Democrats have proposed, is that a percentage point that you'd like to see, or would you like to see a different number?
Well, when I was in the state Senate, chair of Ways and Means, I proposed a 2% cap. And I believe that not only a cap, but we got to lower them, all right? That actually allows them to continue to increase. We got to figure out a way, how do we continue to lower property taxes and then freeze them? Again, it's all about families. It's all about seniors. Lowering taxes actually grows our economy, and that's what needs to be done.
Well, let's switch over to healthcare. Healthcare costs are top of mind for many right now, not just in Iowa, but across the country. I do want to start with your vision. As Iowa governor, how would you address healthcare costs?
Yeah, so this is so important. I mean, I was an EMT for 15 years, volunteer EMT. I saw firsthand how healthcare works and the cost of healthcare. Right now, the Affordable Care Act, it was never affordable. Healthcare premiums have gone up, 2, 3, 4 times from when Affordable Care Act was implemented. What we have to do is make sure that we lower premiums. To do that, we have to lower pharmaceutical costs. We have to make sure that we have transparency in the pricing, and we also have to make sure that the money goes to the individual and not to the health insurance company. These are all components of lowering and making sure healthcare is more affordable for all people in Iowa.
Well, you touched on manufacturing as well as part of your vision for Iowa. I want to talk about an October report from Business Record that found that Iowa has seen 26 manufacturing facilities close since January of 2024, so in the last 2 years. It's led to more than 3,000 jobs lost. How do you plan to approach Iowa manufacturing, and does something have to change?
Yeah, this is so important. This is how we take Iowa to new heights. So I was the writer of the big, beautiful bill. And in that bill, we specifically put in incentives for manufacturing, not only the manufacturers that are currently in our state, but also to onshore all the manufacturing that have left and have gone to other countries. I am so excited what's going to happen with immediate expensing, bonus depreciation, 179 depreciation. These are all tools that are going to bring manufacturing back to our nation, back to our state. But we need somebody that can lead that charge to make sure that we sell our state. We live in such a great state, and we have the workforce, we have the skills, the labor available to make sure manufacturing really gets to be incredible back in our state of Iowa. That's my vision, and that's how we're going to take this state to new heights.
What is one of the main roadblocks that you see stands in the way of manufacturers and labor here in the state right now?
Right now, it's just a matter of time. We passed this big, beautiful bill. Now we have to execute. And you need somebody working with President Trump to execute the plan. Again, with all these great tools and provisions that we created, now we have to make sure that people around the country and our own manufacturers understand how important it is to grow and develop and to expand and to bring new manufacturing back to this great state. I was just talking with pharmaceutical companies that are all looking at bringing onshoring their companies back from China and other countries. We in Iowa, we have to make sure that we're the place that they come to. So we're competing with 49 other states. That's why it's so important that we are very aggressive in understanding how important it is to sell our great state and sell what we have.
I want to turn back to the election for Iowa governor. Your opponent, Republican State Representative Eddie Andrews, who you'll be facing in the primary, has won on the state level in a very purple area. Looking ahead to the general election this fall, I mean, if you make it to the general election, do you need to reach Democratic voters in Iowa?
I want to reach all Iowans. This election is about all Iowans. And for us, it's all about creating more affordability, creating a better economic environment, making sure our kids stay right here in Iowa with a world-class education. That's why I want to take this state to new heights. I am passionate about making sure that we are the most business and ag-friendly state in the country. And to do that, that means that we keep our kids here, that we grow our health care. These are just so many opportunities that we have, and on day one, we are going to lower and freeze property taxes. This is the key to growing and have success in Iowa for all families, farmers, and for our small businesses.
All right, so if you make it to the general election in November and you're facing Democratic challenger Rob Sand, what is your biggest concern for a Sand governorship?
I tell you what, I'm so excited about what our vision is. I just want to make sure that we don't turn this state back into Illinois or California. That is my great fear. He has said it himself that he's an extreme liberal. We got to take him serious. If he has said that, then that's real. We have to make sure that we continue to grow and expand our economy. We have to make sure that we have quality and accessible, affordable health care, that our kids stay right here, that we have world-class education, right? We can't become a California or Illinois. We got so much in this great state. I've been born and raised here. I'm a fourth-generation Iowan, live in the northwest corner of Iowa in a rural community. Grew up having a little paper out, working at the local pizza ranch where I met my wonderful wife of 33 years. We have 4 wonderful children. I've lived the American dream, and I want every kid in Iowa to have that same dream I had.
Well, then my last question for you, Congressman, is Republicans in the Iowa House have a supermajority. They don't need any Democrat votes to perform certain duties. But after a few special elections in 2025, the Iowa Senate lost their supermajority. So if Democrats can maintain or even increase some of their seats in the state, What are some areas specifically that you will work with Democrats to get laws passed?
I'll work with everyone again on my vision and to take Iowa to new heights. I think we can all agree that we want to be the most business and ag friendly state in the country. I think we can all agree on that. I think we can all agree that we want world-class education. I think we can all agree that we want to make sure our kids stay right here with great jobs and have that American dream. I'm sure we can all agree that we want to have health care for all that's lower premiums and quality. But finally, I want to work with everyone to lower property taxes and make sure we freeze them so our seniors can stay in their homes, that small businesses can continue to grow and flourish in this great state to create more jobs and more economic opportunity for everyone.
Congressman, I thank you so much for your time today. Really fast, as a lifelong Iowan, do you have a favorite Iowa-centered quirk that you love, whether it's the giant tenderloin sandwiches or something like that?
I tell you what, I love the small donuts when I go to the fair. The small little donuts, they get me every time. Love them. And then obviously pork on a stick. Can't get any better than that.
You certainly can't. Congressman Feenstra, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Always great to be with you.